Hello everyone, welcome back to Quicks14Blog, Quicks14 here, getting back to some Star Trek Online. I hope you enjoy the new resolution and of course the new awesomeness of of full graphics settings practically. So we're continuing pretty much where we left off. Of course, just going to look a whole lot better. So we're going to go ahead and do our first exploration missions. Now these are a little different. But these are optional, so if you don't feel like going to fight, doing the usual stuff, you can also get exploration missions. Doing exploration missions, which work much like patrols and the like that we did before, also give you opportunity to get exploration badges that you can use and turn in to get different stuff, and I'll show that a little bit later. So we went into the Delta Volanus, whatever, sector of space, which is very, very close, as you saw, to where we are at. And pretty much anything where there's an anomaly, not only can you get stuff out of it, but there's usually systems nearby that you can go ahead and click on and go into. Now, all these systems are pretty random, and what they're going to look like, what kind of mission you're going to have on there, they're fairly random. So for the sake of this, I'm going to show you most of it, the different types of missions you're going to encounter. This is a pretty standard mission here of just a whole bunch of different, I think it's Gorn ships that you need to deal with. Not for that hard, really, especially at this level. But like I said, you might go into exploration mission and you might have a different type of missions that you're going to encounter. So don't think of this as exactly what you're going to have. These are just some of the examples of the different type of missions you're going to encounter, and I'm going to show you basically how to get through them. The combat ones, such as this and a few others, are the more common ones, and they're pretty straightforward and pretty easy to do. Some other ones might be, I've had in the beta an exploration mission where I actually just have to scan for different anomalies. So, and get all that stuff. That's a really cool mission because you actually get that anomaly data and you can actually use that. So here it's pretty straightforward. You can see where the enemy is. If you never, and I'll show this in a later mission too, I believe. If you don't know where, it's the Orion Syndicate, sorry, where ships are or where you're supposed to go, if you bring up your map while you're in a system, it's going to bring up a map of that system, and you're going to see like a white, some sort of white circle, or even a, oh, I forget the proper name of it, but it could be big, it could be small, and this is basically your general area of where your mission is taking place, and place of interest, basically. So you want to look around in that area. Generally, if you just go in the direction you were pointing when you came in, you're going to find what you're looking for pretty easily. The missions where you have to go orbit a planet or go around a planet to do the mission is also pretty straightforward, and we'll get to that kind of mission later as well. So you can see here we're fighting a cruiser, not too difficult, pretty substandard stuff, pretty easy, nothing you haven't seen before, so I'm not going to explain too much. In fact, I believe I also skipped some footage here in a bit, just to show the difference. Yes, I do. So once you're finished with it, you can go ahead and warp out of the system. If you did see some anomalies that you want to pick up, you can opt to not warp out now. It'll leave a little option to the right of your screen, as you can see, and that'll allow you to go ahead and pick up any of that extra anomalies and stuff you want to. If you haven't seen them, you can always scan the system as well, and it will tell you how many anomalies are still in the system. So in this case, I was able to go right back into unknown system. They're random where they really spawn, but you can go ahead and do that sometimes. So now we're going into another uncharted system. These are totally random. This is using the Genesis the Genesis scripting engine or mission engine that they have built for this game in order to really do it, and this is the start of it. This mission is more standard, and in fact you're going to see something similar to this mission in the next one. Basically you got this mining station that's quiet, so you have to go up to it and you communicate with it. You find out that they're being harassed by pirates, and pirates attack you, and you pretty much have to kill all the pirates, so many after a row and everything like that, until you're done. The next mission is going to be very similar to that. It's important to note that when you do these missions, these guys' spawn areas are pretty close by. You don't have to worry about them attacking the station or anything like that. They won't. It can't be destroyed. It can't even be targeted. So it's not an issue. The biggest issue to worry about in a mission like this, or any mission where there's a large piece of asteroids around, is sometimes these ships get stuck in them. their pathing is good, but it's not perfect, and sometimes it does get stuck. This is the first time we've really seen mines, and mines can be released. You can also get them and use them on your own ship. You release it, or the ship releases it behind them. They're inert. They're not active. They don't do nothing. As you can see, it got stuck here. And when that happens, you usually can't fire it until you get to a certain position. But when they come out and everything, they will activate and find the nearest enemy target source and go after it. The cool part is you can actually use the mines against the person who used it if you know how to use it right. If they drag and drop it pretty much right behind them and you're right behind them and it comes after it and everything, if you can get like underneath them or speed up where you can get ahead of them, the mines will actually blow up around them and you, and it'll do some damage to them. It's not easy to do, and most of the time I just did it by accident. There are standard types of mines, photon mines, quantum mines, and so on. So this I wanted to show. So after you fight a few waves of enemies, you'll get finally the flagship, basically, of these guys. In this case, this is your battleship. Now, I wanted to show this because this is not your standard fight. This guy is a little more difficult, and as you can see, he's also got a couple of abilities he's using. First, you saw that red reticle around me. That's basically targeting priority ability or something like that, basically focusing fire. The green stuff that you saw behind him, and he also has photon mines that you saw behind him, is basically a damaging field, almost like a gas, not a gaseous nebula, but almost like like dropping your engine core, or not dropping your engine core, but your gas. You're venting your engine gas, and it does damage to you. And you'll see that here a little bit because I actually get into it in one part accidentally. It's something to be aware of, and something that really can be deadly as you get further up. He also does, as you saw, there was like a little rings that went around him vertically instead of almost around him, opposite of the shields. That was evasive maneuvers, and as you can see, he goes really fast. You have that ability too, and of course you can use it. As you see, I'm in the green crap and I'm taking damage, and then I did defeat him. Not too difficult, but I thought it was worth a look. Just keep your shield management up, and you'll be just fine. It's a good first look at it. So that's that mission type. And then we have a third mission type, which is actually here. Technically, it's the same exact mission type we just saw. The only difference with it is we're not going to have a station that we're protecting from pirates or whatever. We're actually going to have a survey ship, a large ship. That's really the only difference. These are basically distress call missions, I would call them, because you actually get like a distress call, and that's kind of why you head towards it. It's like a beacon distress call, and so you have to go take care of it. This is pretty much exactly like the other one. It's a little different. You're gonna have wave of enemies. As you can see, I can't even see it. I really don't even see it because it's a ship and it's small, but if you look way in the background, you can kind of see it, and I just wasn't paying attention. Right there in front of you, see, right there. Oh, I'm like, oh yeah, there it is. And basically that is, it's just like the station one, except this is a ship model instead of a station. Again, you're gonna have pirates that you're gonna fight off. You're gonna have different waves, and then of course you'll have the flagship. Not too difficult. This is a great way. Exploration missions are a great way to get experience. Badges are good. They are random, so they're usually a good variety. And also, more importantly, you can get, of course, besides experience and all this stuff, credits and loot. The loot is always nice. And boom. You're going to encounter all kinds of different alien races. Some that you would recognize from the Star Trek universe, some that you may not, some that it might be from the comics or the expanded stuff or the books, but they're all in there. Now keep in mind, I'm still using my original stuff. I have the original shields, original deflector, original phasers and torpedoes that I was given when you start. That will soon change. So I go ahead and fast forward here, and I become Lieutenant 4, Lieutenant 4, and I go ahead and skill up, and I'm finished with that mission. That ends our exploration. We've done all three. We'll turn it in, and you'll see me getting that turned in and also getting my badges. So you just contact him. As you can see, he's got the badges right there, and I go ahead and get that as well. Now you can of course do it again. It's one of those repeatable things that you can do over and over and over. As you can see, I got some nice loot here, in fact including a disruptor beam array, which is basically a disruptor phaser, if you will. Phaser array, basically a disruptor array, like a Romulan ship or something like that. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. I also got a science station console I can put in, and I go ahead and put that in as well. And then I go ahead and take out this other stuff and I put in the shield and the weapons one, and I sell everything else. I also get a couple more stuff, as you will see later, but that's for part 2. So definitely much more coming up. I hope you're enjoying the new resolution, the new styles. You can't really see it, but there's the badges. So much more coming up. Part 2, we'll go over some more stuff, so stay tuned.